Hi, Uriah and Titus and Sammy and Davy and Chase and Rose and Owen. We're ready for the third part of our book, Creation and Shabbath, with Chase and Rose and Savta. This part's different because it's going to be about what we did for Shabbat. We got all the spices and herbs out of Mama's cupboard and smelled them. We each chose our favorite. Rosie chose whole cloves, ground cloves, and thyme. Chase chose a whole bunch of different herbs and spices. Then we made them into spice wraps to pass around and smell as Shabbat ends, to remind us of the sweetness of observing Shabbat. Did you see the picture at the very top? That's of Chase and Rose with their spice bags that they can pass around after Shabbat ends to remember the sweetness of Shabbat. The next thing, Shabbat begins tonight. Evening and morning were the first day. That's what it kept saying through the creation story. Evening and morning were the first day. So Shabbat starts in the evening. A lump of dough. Look at the second picture there of Rosie. She's looking at that dough thinking, what on earth? Why did Savta give me just a lump of dough? A lump of dough, we're making our challah. The kids will each make a small loaf for them and their Betty. Davy is Rosie's Betty for outings and such, and Sammy is Chase's Betty. Now look at this picture, that one with Rosie looking a little disgusted and Chase looking a little bored, but polite. What fun is this? It's not even colored like Play-Doh. Challah reminds us how God provided manna in the wilderness. Do you know what manna is? Do you remember when God provided manna coming down from heaven and landing on the ground so that the children of Israel could go around and pick it up? And that's what they ate for 40 years in the wilderness. Challah has another meaning, but we'll find out about that after we bake it. Rosie and Chase want to know what the other meaning is. Okay, so if you want to make some challah, you can either use frozen bread dough or you can make some fresh bread dough. And then you divide each loaf into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. 3 pieces. Who's 3 years old right now? Jump up if you're 3 years old. Okay, sit down. We roll each of the 3 parts into a snake. Can you see? Let's see here. There you go. Do you see Chasey rolling those 3 parts into a snake? Oh, he's working hard at it. It's harder to roll bread dough than Play-Doh, but it's actually kind of fun. See Rosie? Rosie's enjoying doing that, isn't she? She was having fun. Next, we set up our rolls to braid them. Okay, so do you see how we put the 3 pieces together? We've made our 3 snakes out of our bread dough, and we put them together, and we stick one end of them together so that we can braid them. Once they're braided, we admire them. Okay, see those bottom 2 pictures? Rosie's admiring hers, and Chase, Chase knows his looks really good. But they're not done. They need to rise for a bit before we can bake them. So we're going to put them on a plate and put them aside to bake. And look what happened! Oh, they rose, and they rose very fast because Savta was cooking nearby. Oh my, these rose quickly because Savta was cooking right next to them. Next, we brushed them with beaten eggs to make them come out shiny. Okay, there's a picture admiring our challah loaves after we've brushed egg on them. We whipped up an egg with a fork and then we used a pastry brush to brush it all over the top of them without poking any holes. Savta pinched a bit of dough off. This is because God commanded his people to share their dough with the priests when they come to make sacrifices. We throw the bit of dough into the oven to burn it up. This reminds us of the sacrifices burned in Jerusalem. We don't have to offer sacrifices anymore. Jesus was the final sacrifice for our sins. The temple was destroyed a few years after he died, bringing an end to the sacrificial system. Okay, so can you see the picture on the top? There's Savta pinching off some dough and then throwing it into the oven. And then there's Rosie and Chase watching the bread bake in the oven. And if you want to bake your challah, you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. The bread looks done. Did you see that at the top? Tap on the loaves and see if they sound hollow. If they sound hollow, then it's done, and they're pretty and shiny. And do you see Mama or Aunt Sam enjoying some challah? We only tear our challah. We don't cut it. We put away our knives for Shabbat because Shabbat is a time for peace, not war. Davy and Sammy, well, let's look first. There's Rosie. Chase is eating his. Let's see, there we go. See, Chase has his challah and he's giving his sunny smile. And Rosie's eating her challah. Nobody's using any knives on it. And look at Sammy and Davy. They know that Shabbat is for rest. The end. I hope you enjoyed my book. Now we have a nice white page again. I love you. Mwah. Bye-bye.